Well, it's not often I have my play filled out, so I guess now is as good a time as any to give you a tour around and show you what's actually inside it. Well, of course, you have a PC inside it. This particular one is a i5 770, I believe, 16 gig of RAM, and it's a 1060 GPU, NVIDIA GPU. And a 750 watt power supply. And then back here on the back wall, we have the first of my LED whizzes. This particular one controls the 24 volts, and it also has all the controls for the strobes. And that's just an analog fan controller for so I can slow down the fans so they make less noise. And this over here is the relay for the free play knocker, which is up in the back box. You can't actually see it. And there's your remote power strip. Over here on this wall, we have the teensy controller for the addressable LEDs. And then as we go over here, this is your ground block. All the grounds in the system come over to here. And then we have the power supplies. We have two 5-volt power supplies here. The top one is dedicated to the addressable LEDs. The bottom one is for everything else 5 volts in this cabinet. And then behind it, we actually have the 12-volt power supply and the 24-volt power supply. And then going down here a little bit further, we have a gear motor, and this is to emulate gear sounds from games that are played on this cab. The reason I actually have my playfield open at the moment is because I'm installing a new analog plunger. And down here you actually see the control board for it and the front USB port, so I can have my Bluetooth and change little dongles for remote keyboards and things like that. Right here is a fan that ejects out the front of the unit to scare you with some air here and there. And in the middle, that is a subwoofer. And then going back down here, that's the control board for all the input buttons. And then going down here, you'll see the second of my LED whizzes. And I'm trying to remember which one that is. This is for all the front button RGB LEDs. And then going back a little bit further here, we have a shaker motor to shake the cab. And there's its dedicated control board. And then over here is my 12-volt relay board, which is actually driven by this, this third LED whiz in the system. And the LED whiz also has the outputs for my undercab and back box RGB LEDs, and that's the resistor, my homemade resistor block for all those undercab and back box RGB LEDs. And then back here on the back side, right above the playfield, is a 9 by 86 addressable LED RGB matrix, addressable RGB LED matrix. And then going on out, that same matrix goes down both sides of the playfield. So there's the power for it that goes out to the playfield, which is out here. And you can also see the inputs for the addressable LEDs. And then this is where all the solenoids are. They lift up out. So right now you set these down in there. And they sit on the shelf and up above all that other stuff that you saw, and then the playfield sets up above that. And And let's see what else is described while I have it here. This is a 1080p. It's a 12-inch monitor, and it's doubles. I use the bottom half as a virtual DMD and the top half as a topper display. And then this is a 20, I believe, 3-inch 1080p display that I use for the back box. And then up on the top, I have a bank of 14 strobes and a red and a blue beacon light and a portal gun to go along with the theme of this cab. The portal gun is operable, but it's not hooked to the cab at the moment. That's a future project. The next project I'm going to do in this is I'm going to add surround sound feedback. It will actually put some exciters on the corners to shake the cab as a speaker, and a couple more amplifiers to run those. I want to take a look at some of the outside of the cab. This is actually wood burned in here. So this was hand drawn on here. This is not just trace and everything like that. My wife Samantha actually hand drew all this Rick and Morty artwork for the cab. Mr. Poopy Butthole. And everybody's favorite, Pickle Rick.